video, I talk about how scientists go to meetings to communicate their research to each other and give feedback and ideas. But how does anyone else ever find out about research? And how does the research that scientists do impact our lives, if at all? It's easy to say that many things we have come to rely on as a society would not exist without scientific research. Vaccines, computers, toothpaste, clean drinking water, abundant food, gas to fuel our cars. We also know a whole lot about the world we live in that is the result of scientific research. We know where earthquakes are more likely to occur and why. We know the roles that different species play in an ecosystem. We can predict tides and currents and winds to help us navigate on the ocean. Scientists sometimes have goals of developing a product that is useful or helping a community with a certain study. Sometimes we don't even know what the impact of our work will be until it happens. Let's hear a little bit from Anthony about the impact of his research.
I was conducting field research in northern New Jersey a bunch of years ago. We were looking to understand whether moss could be used as an indicator of atmospheric mercury around a trash incinerator in a remote corner of the state. We needed a lot of community help because we needed access to people's yards, farms, and other things in the area. So we sent out letters, we went door to door, and we called people to ask for permission. Everyone was happy to give us permission with one condition. We let them know what we found when we were done. When the study was over and the data was analyzed, we saw a strong correlation between mercury concentrations and the location of the incinerator. It stuck out as a pretty big source of mercury. We sent our paper to all of the residents in the area, and they sent it to local government officials and to the incinerator owners. I was asked to present our work at a local community meeting, and about 80 people came. In the end, the results we shared with the community helped them to convince the owners to install air pollution control equipment on the incinerator to lower the emissions of mercury into the local community. While we didn't set out with this as an objective, it was great to see the research help the local community.
As for me, I was doing field work with a group in a remote part of California in a valley with about 700 people spread out in 3 towns about 60 miles apart. We were working there because the valley also has a bunch of hot springs and faults, and we were trying to understand the relationship between the locations of the hot springs and the faults. We were using unmanned aerial vehicles to collect data, and we would be flying over lots of ranches where people would be out working during the day. So it was really important to us to let people know what we were doing. So we did a bunch of stuff. I gave a talk about our work at the local Rotary Club. We had an open house where people could come and look at the unmanned aerial vehicles we would be flying and find out more about what we were doing. And over 250 people showed up. That's a lot in that valley. They were really interested in what we were doing. The data we collected allowed us to develop maps of faults below the surface that we could share with members of the community who were particularly interested in developing a small geothermal power plant in the area to supply local power. So using our results, they've applied for funding from the state of California to proceed with development. What we learned through scientific research is both interesting and can often improve our lives. The best scientists are good communicators beyond their own communities and help the results of their research reach the general public in a variety of ways. As you do your own research, think about the people and places you might impact and how to reach them. Practice communicating not only with other scientists, but anyone who might be interested in or affected by your work, and help your science have an impact.